My name is Kyle Locke. Today I'm going to be giving a speech about myself, 3 things about me that I'd like my classmates to know. And these are my audience members.
Hi, John Anderson.
Hi, I'm Haley.
Hi, I'm Cornelius.
Hi, I'm Jefferson.
The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus, from Bruce Lee. My sources that I use the Time, the New York Times, and the Public School Review Board. This speech is going to cover 3 things. The first, my experiences in 4-H shooting sports. The second, my experiences in high school sports. And the third is how those experiences came together and helped me form the goals that I have for myself later. At first, they'll ask you why you're doing it, and then they'll ask you how you did it from an anonymous source. What I got out of shooting sports as a kid, I started at 8 years old with a firearm, which is going to sound crazy to people who don't believe in gun rights and everything like that. But what people don't realize is when they ignore the negative instances that happen in the media, like public school shootings and theater shootings, is that shooting sports actually teaches kids a lot. I learned a lot about discipline, of how to manage a gun, how to shoot it properly, and how to hit a small target from far away. You also learn discipline about how to clean your gun after it and take care of it and use proper gun safety. Another thing that people don't realize is that you can learn a lot about goal setting in shooting sports. It's one of those kind of sports that you can set a goal for yourself to beat your old score every time, which also lets a lot of people who aren't the most athletic or the brightest, they don't have to have any natural skills at shooting sports. They can practice and become better. So you learn a lot about how to believe in your own abilities. The last thing that you learn in shooting sports is leadership. Whenever you become like a 15-year-old, I believe, is when I started. When I was 15, I became the senior leader in our club, and I began teaching and making the plans to teach the younger kids that were filling my shoes 7 or 8 years ago. I found this quote on the National School Review Board. For high school sports, the 3 Ps. You learn persistence, patience, and practice from high school sports. I'm going to go ahead and show my audience members again. One of the big things that I learned from high school sports was personal fitness. If I hadn't played sports in high school, I would definitely not have cared to wake up early in the morning and do PT or train myself to get better. I think if I had gone to the recruiter in high school, that they might not have even signed me into the Army if I hadn't played sports. Another thing you learn is time management, because you've got to wake up early in the morning and go out to practice. You got to stay after school to work out. And all that while, you've got to balance your life at home with your schoolwork and everything else that can happen in school. I think that a lot of people look at athletes as being less educated and not doing well in school, but it's actually been proven that athletes have a 0.2 out of the 4-point scale higher than people who don't do athletics in high school. And I think that just goes to show that you can't believe everything you hear again. Another thing that high school sports have shown to do is give athletes intangibles that employers are looking for later on. Things like work ethic, dedication, and being a part of a team are things that you might pick up somewhere else, but you'll definitely pick them up in high school sports. What do I fear? I fear stagnation and lack of progress. I fear never reaching my potential and being average. I love my fear. And that's another anonymous source. My biggest goal for the future, above all else, is to become the kind of leader that people want to follow. I think that Ronald Reagan said it best when he said, the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things, it's the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. I can do 50 great things, but wouldn't it be better to have 50 people do 50 great things? And I think that's what it means to be a good leader. You need to relate to your people, not put yourself above them. Lead from the front, not from the rear. Becoming a leader is synonymous with becoming yourself. That's another anonymous source, but I think it speaks true testament. Because if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then how are you going to be able to lead people and tell them what to do? In conclusion, shooting sports taught me how to set goals, how to have personal discipline, and also how to shoot a gun, which the Army really likes you to do. The experiences I learned in high school sports, I learned how to work as a team, how to be a leader. I learned a lot about personal fitness that helps me now. And my biggest goal, like I said, is to become the kind of leader that people want to follow, along with maybe getting into medical school later. But again, I'm going to show my audience. And then this is a quote that I actually said with this cute little dog on it. It says, "Life is what you make of it, so might as well make it a good one." Thank you for your time.